Good morning. Today is the 13th, or Friday the 13th of December 2024, when we could see some strange things happening. Wonder if that translates to some strange market happenings today, being that it is Friday the 13th. Subject news, we only had medium volatility news at 8:30, nothing major coming in today, so nothing which could move the market. So let's crack on with the levels. On my screen we're looking at the daily. This is the S&P 500 E-mini futures, and we're on the 1 day time frame, or the daily time frame. As you can see, we've been in this big uptrend, putting in higher high. Oh, let's go back to my pen. Just reload my pen. We're putting in a higher high, higher low, higher high. Coming back over here, higher low, higher high, and we are just going sideways for a bit. We're in this bit of a range right now, going from all-time high 61.10 all the way down to 60.50 area. So that's our range we're kind of watching, and we want to keep an eye for a break out or below of that range. Let's just mark this up. So this is the area we're in right now. Make it a bit thicker. So what we're watching for is a breakdown or breakout off of this area, a potential break and retest, or trend continuation, or the break and retest. And there's one key area we're watching, and that key area is this 60.50 area, which is the support where we broke resistance going back to November. And so this is the area we've got on watch, and we did come back into it just a few days ago, Tuesday, Wednesday, so that's kind of held support, but we weren't able to break it. So that's just showing us that we have got potential support up there. Volume wise, we do have a bit of volume in that area as well. So, you know, if it's anything like previous months, coming in, hold support, pull back, push out, hold support, push out. Had a bit of a sell off in August, and then we've quickly recovered back into the uptrend. Haven't really broken this downtrend on the daily for this year. We can go back to this time last year, where we were putting in a series of lower lows, lower highs. November came along, and we've just been on an uptrend ever since. We've got two trend lines we're watching. That one's our lower trend line, or we've got a fan, basically 3 trend lines, and we've got the main trend line running down, which is kind of what we're honouring at the moment, and we've got this higher trend line. So basically, if we do get a pullback over the next month or so, we could potentially see us pull back down into this region, 5900, but we're long from that. So let's focus on where we are now. So 60.50 is key area. If we bounce from that, we can look for another push up, and if we lose that area, we can potentially look for a rejection back down. If we do lose 50.50, this is on the daily, we could potentially have this formation setting up, so head and shoulders, and then we may start looking for a change of trend. Again, we're a long way from that, it's just speculation. So let's go into the hourly and see if we've got any levels for today. There's not much really. It's not the greatest day. When we're coming up into the all-time highs, I think Nasdaq's just put in new all-time highs as well. We do have this trend line, which we can keep an eye on, that area there. We're basically putting in a bull flag, kind of this pattern here, and it's really hard to find shorts when we're up here when it's so strong. But one thing we can keep an eye on is these red candles, the red days, especially on the daily, and we're getting bigger red days. Let's go back to the daily so I can show you that and zoom in. So something of interest, notice how we've got red candle, let's just draw it in, red candle, red volume, notice the size of that volume, a bigger green candle and less volume on the green volume candle. So that already shows us that this smaller candle, it's got more sellers active than we've got buyers. And it's a negative candle yesterday as well. And then we had these two red candles on these two candles here, and notice those volume is still greater than the green candle there. So if you were to compare previous days, you can see again another red candle on a small narrow range day, and that was greater volume or equal volume to a slightly bigger candle over the last few days as well. So you can see, so we have got more aggressive selling than buying right now, but we are in all-time highs and we are holding this area. So if we have got more aggressive selling, then basically we've got some buyers just holding that up and absorbing all of the selling pressure down here. And once all of the selling pressure has been absorbed, then potentially we could be looking for another breakout. Looking at levels, RSI's in the mid area, so there's nothing overbought or oversold. We are having another inside, what was yesterday? So we are technically inside yesterday's range. So like yesterday we were inside Wednesday's range, and look how horrible that trading is. Really bad trading. In fact, I did really well not to trade almost all day, and then I got impatient right at the end of the day, and I think I tried watching for a bounce down here, thinking it's going to bounce back up, come back down, bounce, and I took a 1 hour stop. Bit annoying because I should have walked away and I was well outside of my trading time. I only like to trade the first 2 hours of the trading market. I want to be done by 5 PM, 5:30 PM here in the UK, which is 11:30 Eastern time, and so a little bit disappointing. Wasn't very good. Even at the time I was thinking I shouldn't be taking this trade because it's a boredom trade, and it was exactly that. Levels then. So we've got this key area here on the hourly, area of confluence, tops of candles, bottoms of candles. Let's draw it as a zone. And again, I'm looking for the most touches of this zone. You can see we've got touches over here, got touches up here, touches down here, touches up here, and then we kind of have a touch there, and lots of touches here. We've yet to come back up into that area, so I still quite like 60.88, that area for rejection, and it's an area I like for the rejection, not a line. And so you'll keep an eye on this area today. So 68.8 is the area I want to be watching for, and that happens to be yesterday's high. So you did come into that area and didn't really identify that as a rejection. I think at the time I was looking to trade a break and retest of pre-market high or pre-market low, and none of them worked. As you can see, pre-market high yesterday kind of was like that. Pre-market low was down there. There was no real confirmations on both directions, and that's what kept me out of the market all day. No confirmations on the 5 minute. I'm looking for a air gap basically. I want it to come down, pull back, and I want to see a nice gap there on the pullback. I don't want to see it poke through and come back, so that's not really what I'm looking for on the break and retest. So let's look for the break and retest of both pre-market high and yesterday high, this region. And if we can't break it, let's look for the rejection. Do you know what? I'm going to make a slight change to it because we've got the point of control. So we've got this point of control at 60.95. So that's the area we want to be looking for the rejection. We want to see the market come up into there, poke through a bit like this, what it did there, come back down, and then wait for confirmation. You know, if you're on the hourly chart, the confirmation is a break of that top and tail candle, and entry there, stop loss up here, and what's that? Nice, easy 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 hour trade roughly. And obviously, if you're on a lower time frame, you can find a lower time frame confirmation, similar setup to that. And that's what I'll be looking for if we get up into this region, 6100. It's a key area we're watching as well. So that's our area. So let's re-update our trend line. I do like to update trend lines based on the most recent pivots rather than older pivots. And that happens to be 6102. So that's an area to watch, this region. That's the only rejection. I won't reject all-time highs because it's just really hard to do that. Look for trend continuation, so break and retest into new all-time highs is a better play to trade. you know, we are in an uptrend, and that should be the easier play. Good morning, Charles. Thank you for the comment. Hopefully you're bright and ready for today's trading. On the subject of today's trading, I may not be around a bit later. My daughter has got a cow service in about half an hour's time, so I may just keep this short and I may just run down and see it. I did see one which she did on Tuesday, and that was very good. So I've already seen it, but she asked me what, well, my wife's going to see it this time. But if I can make myself available, I will do. So 6088 is that area to watch. We've also got the point of control area. So these are the two areas. Break and retest over that area. Potential rejection in this region here, 6100, 6095. And then bounces, we've got this key area we talked about on the daily. We've got a bit of a volume shelf there, and this area here, yesterday's lows where the volume is currently, but we have got, if I can go back further, you can see we have got this region which is 60-50, lots and lots of touches. I like lots of touches. We've got pivot, touch there, almost a touch, goes through touches there, lots of touches here. We came close yesterday, we didn't quite get there, but if we come back down into this zone, then I'm looking for a bounce somewhere. So I'm looking for it to come into the zone, come back up out of it again, and then maybe pull back, something like that. And of course, if we lose that area and we can't break out, do the retesting, and we lose it, then I'm looking for a break and retest that zone. Again, because it's such a big zone, it's difficult to find the exact setup until you're looking at it. But I like to keep the higher time frame chart open. Oh, okay, just seen your comment. Yeah, Charles, definitely don't trade if you're tired. I've traded when I've been unwell. I've traded when I've had family members pass away, and more to keep my mind off things. But it's not a good idea. I think they've probably been my worst trading days. So don't force any trades. Maybe just watch the market and paper trade. That's what I'd recommend, and I do that quite a lot. If I don't want to take a real trade and I'm too tired, then I might just open up my demo account and just trade from that, or use NinJATRADER's built-in demo sim. However, I can't use the NinJATRADER sim because I have that linked to my copier account. So I trade on the sim account, which then copies it to all my Apex accounts. So the only way I can paper trade is if I open up another platform. Well, I can set it up the other way, but that's just how I got it set up. So I don't trade as much on NinJATRADER on the paper trade as much as I used to. But I use interactive brokers, and I've got a few other brokers like TopStep as well, which I can paper trade on. So it's always good if you're tired paper trading, because it then keeps you active, and if you don't really have as much FOMO, even though you're not using real money. So I think that's it really. Really simple levels today. Break and retest pre-market high. Break and retest a pre-market low. They're the ones I watch for every day with confirmation. And then bounces at 60-50. And then a rejection at the point of control area all the way up to 6100, that area. And if we see continued momentum into the upside, then a break and retest of those areas. And I think that's it. SPY. Another comment from, is that Derp Shipwits? Hopefully I pronounced that right. I mainly trade ES. I do look at options, swing trading. So I normally buy a month out, and using my interactive brokers account. And I don't always trade SPY. I may look for alternatives like on Q, because in the UK I can't trade SPY or QQQ or any ETFs. So all I can do is find ETFs such as TQQQ and SQQQ. I can do them on options. SPY stocks I can't trade, but I can do the SPY options. But I generally do TQQQ and SQQQ, and there's equivalents for SPY which I can't remember, SPXL or something like that. And if I want to do a short or long on SPY, then I'll do the ETFs equivalents. I think The reason I like TQQQ is leverage, so you get 3 times the move. It's leverage 3 times, I believe. So you get 3 times the move over what you would normally get on SPY. Obviously, you can get 3 times the loss as well if you're not watching and you're not having good risk management. But TQQQ and SQQQ are the ones I normally trade if it's options and I want to trade the indexes. They're the ones I do over swing trading rather than day trading. If you don't mind me asking, from your experience, how is it looking for today? It's not looking great. I probably won't even trade. There's no decent levels in my honest opinion. We're up in all-time highs, so it's really hard. I don't short all-time highs, because why would you want to short a strong strong stock or strong market? So trend continuations, but we're sitting in this range right now. Let me just draw it in. And we've been in this range for a bit. We've broken down through that range. You can see the ranges we're in. And if it's anything like yesterday, where we'll just zoom into yesterday, and that's really terrible trading. Look at this. So yesterday we opened up here, down, up, down, up, down, up. You know, that's not tradable at all. That's a walk away, and I wish I did walk away, but I think around about here I saw it come back down, and I just got bored, and I went for a long bounce off of this area. And obviously the only time I go for the bounce and the only time I trade yesterday today, it breaks down through it, of course. But you know, there it is. It could have easily just gone up in the opposite direction and it would have been a trade, but it's not even in my it's not even in my trade book, and it's not one of my playbook trades. It's not even one I want to trade. I don't play ranges at all. You know, I play support, resistance, supply, demand, and continuation trades, break and retests, and that's it. And they're the ones which are, you know, I only want to focus on them because if I'm looking for different patterns, and yesterday was a prime example of going against all my rules basically. I got bored, so I got a boredom trade, and then I traded outside my normal hours. I only like to trade the first 2 hours of the day, so not great. And the market right now is not looking that great, and if you can find an excuse like Charles to not trade, then take that excuse and enjoy your weekend. You want to go into this weekend with no trades. You know, no trades is a position, just like but you don't want to go into a weekend on a red losing day, because you've got 3 days or 2 days to think about it, and you think, you know, it's just a bit more depressing having a losing day on a Friday when you've got all weekend sitting on that losing day. You know, it's all about mindset, and you want to come into Monday with a good mindset. Either you sat on your hands all day, didn't trade, and Monday you're raring to go. So that's my opinion of the market. It's not financial advice, obviously. Do whatever you're comfortable with. So back to the levels then on SPY, we're watching similar to ES. If we can get up into this region, point of control area, we can look for a rejection 607, 607.50 to 608.33. Big area, so you need to look for a confirmation, something like that. Bounces, we've got this trend line down here as well, and look at this trend line. We're forming this pattern. Potentially we are forming something like this, and then the market's going to decide it's either going to break out or break down. And while it's compressing into this smaller region here, then it's not a very good place to trade. You can see that yesterday was a good example of that. You know, we had a similar a few days back as well. We just went up, down, up, down, up, down, and it finally broke down, came back up. That was a good trade, a retest, and that's why we keep an eye on levels, 60-minute levels, because that was a break and retest on the 60-minute chart of a level we was watching. And technically, could we watch that today? It's gone through, but if we can watch that area for a bounce as well. But A+ only setups. SPX, nothing's really changed. In fact, that is a level we should mark up as well, only because there's been a few touches on that area there. You've got 2 candles there, 3 candles, another 4 candles, so that's an area to keep an eye on. So I'll only go long on ES if we're coming into an area like here and we're looking for a bounce on SPX as well. If SPX has broken a level and I'm trying to find a long on ES, then it's going to be much harder to go long as it's coming into overhead resistance. So I generally try and do I don't want to see them both doing two different things. I want to see what SPX is coming into a level. If I'm looking for a rejection, this is the area we was watching on the volume profile point of control area. 6092, that area there, 6090 for rejection. If we're coming into that area and I'm looking for a rejection, then we've got two decent areas. 6100, psychological number, we've not been up there, we've just about been there, so that's an area to watch for rejection, and I'll take it on ES mainly. So that's it for SPX. NQ, I'll be quick, so we've got a few minutes. NQ, coming into this bounce area. In fact, an area I was watching on QQQ earlier was this pivot, and we've broken through that area now, so it's not that valid. So let's watch for a break and retest of pre-market high, and that will basically be a break and retest of all-time highs as well. We can watch pre-market low, yesterday's high, for a potential bounce, and if we lose that level, break and retest short. But we do have a potential pivot and a potential area where we could see a bounce at 21,700, psychological round number as well. So again, it's hard to go short when we're in such a big uptrend, but break and retest of either is one of my plays I do, and only with confirmation. So there's no point taking it if it pokes down, comes back up, and then goes sideways, or putting in a bit of a higher low, and then you can see it might be just coming back up again. And same, we don't want to be going long and breaking retests, or looking for reversals in anywhere if it's starting to put in a bit of a bull flag. Because why would you want to reverse on a bull flag? Because you want to find the break and the actual retest out of that. So I've got a level marked up, 21,900. Are we going to get to that area? Who knows? But that's a big psychological number, and that's a potential rejection area. Again, all-time highs, but with confirmation, and only because it's a psychological number as well. QQQ, there you go, that's the level I marked up earlier this morning when I was looking at it for the bounce. Basically the bounce of this area here. Got a volume shelf as well, so that added to that, but we've just gone straight through that. So bear in mind, just as much we've gone through it in the pre-market, it was post-market volume what put that in as well, so wouldn't pay too much attention to it. But this is a key level because it's put in during the session opening when there's much more volume. Look at the volume there compared to the volume here, a bit different. So again, same as Nasdaq, break and retest a pre-market high, long. Otherwise we can watch for a bounce down at this area, yesterday's high, pre-market low area, and if we lose pre-market low, break and retest. And then the only bounce areas we can watch for is, I do quite like this area actually, and that's purely because of all the touches. Yesterday's low, that zone, 526 for the bounce. We've got touches there, touches there, touches in the zone there, lots of touches in the zone here as well. So this region, 526, is a region to watch for a bounce. I've got the bottom of the zone marked up, but I'm watching that zone, so I'll be keeping an eye on that as it comes down. Right, I'll whiz through the others quickly, see if there's anything obvious. Crude oil, the only thing I see is a break and retest of that pivot and this pivot here. So keep an eye on crude oil, break and retest long, otherwise bounces down here at the point of control. Gold was in a beautiful uptrend and gave it all back. So we're coming right into a bounce area now. So this is a bounce area. You know, we've had, look at these previous levels we've drawn. So that's a bounce area. Look at that nice bounce yesterday. This area here, not the greatest bounce we broke through, but there was a bounce in that area. Not the greatest one, but again, we're looking for more touches. This has got the most touches, so this is a stronger area for a bounce. Exactly where we are now, pre-market low. Again, look for pre-market highs not until we get up here. So there's a big sell-off in the pre-market. 2700 is a potential rejection area and psychological. So keep an eye on 2700. Break and retest pre-market low. Or we can watch this region here for a bounce. It's a point of control. Look at all that volume. That's where all the volume is, right down here at 2660. That's really the only place to watch for a bounce. RTY is in a good hourly downtrend now. It's putting in lower lows, lower lows, lower highs, lower lows, lower lows, lower lows. Where the most touches, probably this region here. I'm going to move this because it may bounce, but I would like to put it there. So 23.25 area for the bounce. Is there much volume? A little bit of volume there, so we may see a bit of a hiccup, but the volume comes in back down here. So a bit of a void. And then if we break out over pre-market high, we can watch for a break and retest into this trend line area here. And obviously, if we break the trend line, look for the break and retest, but we have got this point of control, and that can be our rejection, 23,400 rejection as well. Look, we held it, broke through, tried to break out, couldn't get through, and then it just died at that point. So 2300, 2400 is a rejection point. YM. Oh, wow, look at this. This is definitely in the downtrend. We need to break through pre-market high to change this trend. There's no signs of it changing trend. It's rejected the pre-market high. Hence why it's pre-market high. If we get over break and retest pre-market high to put in a new change of market, change of trend. Otherwise, just watch for the bounce at pre-market low, yesterday low, for a double bottom or a break and retest pre-market low to continue the trend down. And then we've got our point of control and massive volume, big void of volume. If we get below that area, there's not much to hold it up, the stock, until we get back down to this point of control. That's where the volume starts coming in. So keep an eye on that for the bounce. And then finally Bitcoin. And we'll have a quick look at order flow. Bitcoin is doing what Bitcoin does. We're still within this range. We're not broken out of it yet. Still looking bullish. Putting in this kind of pattern there. So if we break out over the all-time highs, look for a break and retest short. And if we lose this trend line, look for a break and retest short. I don't play this on the day-to-day. I might look at playing IBIT or something like that. But my next ads is if we get back down into this region. I want to see it come back, break this structure, come back down, and then retest to continue the trend up. That's what I'm looking for. And that's it. Quickly flick over to order flow. There's not much happening on order flow as well. We can see price has gone up. I mean, cumulative delta's gone up, price has gone up, price has come down with cumulative delta. Market must have just opened. And that's it, it's not doing anything. I've just added NASDAQ in here. I don't know whether you prefer to keep that or not. So we've got NASDAQ instead of the 5-minute ES, only because the 5-minute ES gives you big candles. I'll just put the 20 range NASDAQ in, and I've got each tick sharing one box each. So that's basically there's 40 ticks per box, and it makes it a lot easier to read as well, and it's like that. And then we've still got the ES down here where we use that to find our potential stacked imbalances, and also our potential areas where we could be seeing large volumes. Again, there's no large volume at all in the market at the moment, so trade cautiously today and have a good day trading. And like I said, if you can't see a trade, don't take it. Don't do what I did yesterday, get bored and get into a trade and then get stopped out almost immediately. It's all about risk management. Okay, thank you for watching, appreciate everyone, and I will be back live on Monday, but I will be on the live stream on the other channel, the order flow stream. May not be immediately responsive to questions, but any questions, leave me a question, I'll get back to you whenever I can. Okay, thank you for watching.